Thank you very much, Tyler. It's a pleasure. Sharif Suki, Executive Chairman of Tellurian. Sharif, thank you for joining us. Critical time. We are witnessing a continent, Europe and the UK, that is desperate for power, desperate for natural gas, desperately relying on Vladimir Putin. If U.S. LNG, Tellurian, and others want to come to the rescue down the road, how long would it take? How fast could U.S. LNG new shipments, not what you currently ship, arrive in Europe?
I think the earliest possible where we can start making a dent is in 2 years when Golden Pass finishes, if everything goes really fast. And then in 4 years, again, if we put all stops out, we can start delivering up to potentially 120 million tons, which is enormous.
But we're not talking about next month or 3 months from now for U.S. natural gas.
Not at all. I think Europe has made a conscious decision on relying more on Russian gas and renewables. Bad combination.
When did they make? It's a series of political and economic miscalculations. We know that.
Yes.
When you look back at history, was there a moment in time where you say to the UK closing their nat gas field in 2017, or Germany deciding to wean off nuclear, you could say this was a critical mistake? Boone Pickens talked about this in 2008 in his Pickens plan, how Europe was going to be overly reliant on Vladimir Putin, and that was 14 years ago.
Yes, but 14 years is a long time to be wrong, even if you're right at the end of the 14 years. So what happened is we were lulled on a global basis with low prices for a period of time, and we got to the point where we started thinking that energy prices in general were going to remain low for a long time. And then the U.S. really never embraced the abundance of wealth in energy resources that we have. And remember, it's only 12 years ago that we started fracking, finding that actually we had a very rich resource. And by the time we really realized how big it was well into the process, only 7 or 8 years ago.
Well, Germany now is starting to talk about importation LNG facilities, correct?
Yes.
Finally now, but if so, let's say Germany makes the decision today that they are going to build or bring in some kind of an LNG import facility. What's the fastest they could be up and running, whether it's a plant or some sort of a regasification floating ship?
They can do an onshore plant in about 3 years, and they can do a regas facility on a ship in about 18 months. But the liquefaction is not going to keep up with this. So they might as well go directly for the onshore facilities in 3 years, and in 4 years we'll be able to deliver gas.
So we're still looking at 18 months, 2 years, 3 years to sort of wean us off that, Sharif. Before we let you go, thank you. Want to talk about your business. Can you give us, your investors watching, an update on Driftwood and where you stand with your facilities here?
Well, I mean, I think the fundamentals have never been more supportive. We're starting construction next month, and we'll probably finish putting the financing in place for the entire facility within the next 90 days. So we're off and running.
And that's the entire facility?
Yes.
Sharif Suki, Executive Chairman of Tellurian. And Sharif, thank you for pivoting as well. Obviously, incredible and scary times, so we appreciate your views. Thank you.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.